Hi, guys. Welcome to Once in a Wild, where every once in a while we have meaningful conversations with meaningful people. Don't forget to like and subscribe below. So, just for the
Yeah,
listeners who don't know, you and I have actually been fairly close colleagues for like many years, whether
yeah,
it's like sharing product or advice or just generally being friends. So, a lot of people think that this is like our first time chatting, but it's not.
yeah.
So,
No.
we're actually like behind the scene little besties because we've always been like, hey, talk real fast and then have to go and talk real fast and have to go. So today we actually get to dig into some stuff. So before I
Yay.
dive into a million dreadlock industry questions for you and things like that, tell our listeners where you're at, where do you work out of, what services do you offer, just like basics.
Yeah. All right. Dreadlocks Society started from our home, which is currently now at Highbury, where we have our full salon. Then we've got little branch off salons that I hire when I've got to go to places like which will not make any sense to you, but Murray Bridge, it's like north, east, south, trying to cover it area. And we offer the full range. So from your treatments or your detoxes, your sauna treatments on your dreads, all that kind of stuff, washing, keeping them clean, basically.
Yeah.
And then going into the locking
Yeah.
process.
You are working around at multiple spots. You're not in one. I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
know that. Okay.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
does that look like? How do you spend different days at different places? Are different folks
Yes.
running different satellite spots for you?
It started where I was allocating certain days to go to Murray Bridge because it's an hour away from Highbury. Everything is about an hour away. That's
Okay.
why we've got those areas, because a lot of people didn't want to drive all the way down. I'm not scared of just broadening. Like, it's a drive for me. I think a lot in my driving, which I should only be driving, but I'm thinking at the same time. I'm planning. All these filing cabinets are open. So I really wanted to make a change. I wanted to educate. And that's where the whole community has come for Dreadlocks Society. It was educating
Mm,
people,
okay.
not putting them down. We get a lot of that put down. So it wasn't about
Mm.
projecting that back over. It was, hey guys, yes, we do wash our dreads. Yes, we do this. Yes, we do.
Yes.
And we've changed so many people's perspective just in information.
Yeah, in a pretty short amount of
Yeah.
time, I might add, because how long have you been doing this? I can't really
5
think
years.
back and recall. Okay, that's about what I was
5
thinking.
years. From the time that I got this set of dreads put it, not this set, but my original set, was searching for dreadlock products, and we all come to that realization that we need the naturally
Right.
derived products that's not going to clog. We all know that. It was something about the Australian botanical range or the botanics that we have in Australia that I knew could make a powerful impact.
Mm.
And that was the driving force. It was like, let's make something good. And then I found that people just wanted me to do dreadlocks. They wanted me to
Mm.
do their dreads. And I was throwing out work to all our Adelaide people. And you know how it is.
Yep.
You know how this industry is. I'm not even going to get in it,
Oh, we
but
are.
we are going to get in it.
We'll get
um,
into all that for sure. So you
yeah.
started with product first, correct me if I'm saying anything wrong, and then you went into see, this is all blowing my mind because 'cause I've known you all this time, but I didn't know that. So you started product first and then got into
Products first
actual lock work. Wow, okay.
and then got into lot work. Yeah.
Wow.
The dread journey really started all in high school. And I came from Italian parents, which would never have
Oh,
entertained that. Me going up to
right.
them and saying at 15, hey, I want to get dreadlocks. No.
No.
And then my path, what led by my parent, was real estate.
Oh,
So
okay.
for predominantly 25 years of my life, I was in real estate.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Huh, so
Yeah.
interesting. But you do this full time now. You
This
don't
is all
take
me full time.
anything.
When the dreads came, it was like, I'm never going back to real
You're like,
estate.
"Peace out."
That
That's so
ta-ta.
cool. Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And so you started with the
Yeah.
product, and then you started working from home doing lock work. And is anyone else doing work for you in different locations, or are you just popping around?
So I'm popping around myself, but we've trained a couple of dread artists along the way and that have gone off and done their own thing. We now have 2 active dread artists that are in our salons. the goal is to put them in their own place, and then I
Course.
float around and just double check on everything and build their business, get them to understand what it is to run a business in Australia,
Mm.
and if not South Australia, which is even harder.
The clients that are farther away, are you going to their home or are you going to a location and they're coming to see you at that location?
They're coming to my location now, but there was a
Okay.
lot of home maintenance, like going,
Wow.
yeah, mobile. It was an eye-opener, especially, Murray Bridge, which has quite a few dreadheads, ones that
Wow.
are actively doing maintenance and ones that are just free-forming it, and I saw that there was a market there,
Yeah.
and it wasn't trying to get every single person, but it was try to broaden. I was trying to find more locticians, trying
Yeah.
to get someone to be interested in this industry and passionate about this industry. It's taken me a long time.
Girl, there is so much I could say about that. Anyone who know
Ta-da!
anyone who knows me is, like, laughing their butt off right now if they're watching this
Yep,
because I have so much to say about that, so we will get into that
yep.
as well for sure. Okay, so this is fascinating to me, like, I've already learned so much about you because I didn't know that you had a background in real estate. I didn't know that was the previous industry you came from. I didn't know that you started product first and then got into doing the locking. I had no clue. And the thing that's so interesting about talking to anyone who's in Australia is
Yeah,
that you guys' approach is so different because you're saying, "Hey, there's not that many of us. I see this market. I'll go wherever I'm needed. I wanna make more locticians and put them out there." And that's just not very much the vibe here. So that's fascinating to me,
yeah.
and I
It's
love
different in
that.
that.
Are you born and raised in the area that you're in now or elsewhere?
I was born in Adelaide, yes, probably about
Country.
20 minutes away.
And in terms of the work that you're doing, are you working only with human hair dreads on head, or are you also working with synthetic or wool or anything like that?
Yeah, so everything but wool at this stage. Yeah,
Because
every
wool's
single
not
thing.
very big over there, is it? It's
Not really,
interesting.
not look, it's how you market it. So a lot of people like we obviously do the free consult and stuff like that. I'm all about making sure that we're all on the same page. They're either going
Right.
synthetic or human hair, unless they've done their research. So I've had people saying, "What about those woolly things?"
Yeah.
And we know all the good benefits of the woolly stuff as well, but I haven't gone down that road.
It's just not as popular there. That's very interesting.
Yeah, look, and it's funny because the Merlot wool that we have here in Australia is really good quality. And
Interesting.
yeah, you're right. I don't know where the detachment is. If
Yeah.
too many options are too hard for us, I don't
I
know.
don't know. It's so fascinating. Maybe you'll be the pioneer on that. Think so at
Maybe it's
all.
just not having it as an option,
Yeah.
and we're not advertising. I don't advertise any woolly stuff. And then
Yeah.
I'm not saying that just because I'm not, it's not big, but even I do a lot of posting of other people's stuff. It's
Mhm.
something that means so much to me
Yeah.
that I'm not actually seeing a lot of this woolly stuff. I'm
Yeah.
seeing synthetic and human hair.
That's interesting. We'll have to talk about that. Maybe I can
Mm.
influence some peer pressure to get wool popular over there. So,
Yeah, maybe me, Angel, we have to get something on.
yeah, yeah, I can hook you up with some good providers or there's classes
Oh,
you can
brilliant.
take.
Yeah.
So, before I get ahead of myself, I want to give you a chance to talk all about your hair care line because we love your hair care line. I know so many people here that love it so much. So, I want you to
Yes.
just go off and tell us about it and how passionate you are about it and what it's all about. And one of my big questions was, what's everyone's favorite thing from your hair care line as well?
Yeah. This year's shampoo bars have been and conditioning bars have been a hit. And I don't know if it's the foaming component. So
Mm.
we all know that this mystery foaming is gonna wash our dreads and make them cleaner. They're not.
I know. I think people
I
are
don't know.
attached to it. They just want
It's
the
marketing.
bubbles.
They want the bubbles. Yeah. And it was something that was in my mind because it was such a big thing for consumers to have that bubbling effect. Lots of trialing and testing, and that was the fun bit. So antioxidants, when mixed and compounded, it's powerful. So it's powerful in a way where it's not going to get all the clogging. It's going to be, our product is water based.
Mm,
It's going to come out quicker than anything else.
mm,
I like the richness of the Australian botanics. So I was able to find things that have got high vitamin C content. jojoba oil.
Mm.
It's the liquid gold. Do you know what I mean? It was a mission that I was willing to throw money at.
Yeah,
Just make it work.
and that's wonderful.
That takes time.
What all do you guys offer? Because you have shampoo, you have the bars, you have the detoxes, which everyone loves. What am I missing?
So shampoo my dreads, detox my dreads, lock my dreads, obviously the salt spray.
Right.
We have now hydrate my dreads, which is full of lots and lots of vitamin E, hemp seed oil, all
Oh,
the
that sounds nice.
nourishing stuff.
I love your passion about your hair, Caroline. I think it's fantastic 'cause it's just a wonderful product. If you guys have not tried it out, please go check it out. You guys have
Thank you.
online shop, right?
Yeah, we're all e-commerce stuff. Yeah.
Okay, good. So people can order from you. That's wonderful. I
Yeah.
wish that shipping between us and Australia was not so dang difficult. I have so much trouble sending stuff back
Mm.
and forth. So those are the basics about you, about what you're doing. What are your favorite services that you offer? What's your favorite thing to do?
I love treatments. Look, I love doing the transformations and stuff like that. They're all fun. The actual detox treatments and the washing and stuff like that, where you're actually giving someone that disconnect from the
Mm,
well and you're massaging their head. That's my favorite.
yeah,
When you see that disconnection, they've sat in the chair and you've just
and
started
they've
doing their massage. It's
relaxed.
the best bit.
That's wonderful. I love that. So, do you have any background in any type of hair work at all, or did you jump right in?
I jumped straight in, but in this time, I have done TAFE to us, tertiary studies. I've done like the assistant salon managers kind of position where you've gone in and you learn the whole scope. I think it's really easy and quick to touch on. We are actually insured. Not
Mhm.
sure what the legislation you have to be insured as a hairdresser. So I had to
Interesting.
do
So you don't have to get the full education, but you have to carry the insurance. How
well,
ex
I didn't have to show
how
any accreditation.
expensive is that over there?
Yeah, it's $186 a month, and
Wow.
that's with multiple salons, which is pretty cheap.
You
Yeah,
don't have to have the hair background or education, just the
no.
insurance.
I'm not trying to make it hard for anyone, but I'm not sure how many people have gone like yourself. I'm sure that you would be insured, but you know that there's other people that are doing it backyard.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
like,
You're
where did
always
I
gonna
want to
have
put
that, yeah,
myself in every industry?
yeah.
But where was I going to put myself in this industry? And I think Angel would have touched on it as well. Is we want to make this an actual industry,
Right.
a serious industry. And I'm not sure if your hairdressing courses in the States are the same, but we used to have a component of dreadlocking in our hairdressing
Wow.
courses,
Wow,
which we're talking 30, maybe 40 to 30 years ago.
that's
Now it's
crazy.
not, doesn't exist.
Huh,
We want to bring that back in. I would say that hairdressing in Australia is very glamorous. And I'm
okay.
not saying that
I got you.
dreadlocks aren't.
Got you, yeah.
It's a different kettle
Okay, so they
of
just
fish.
felt like it didn't fit or something.
It didn't fit. They probably didn't know. But they were using things like beeswax and egg and glue.
Ever
So
no
not
one ever mentions the egg thing, but that was a real thing that people were doing. Oh my goodness. I love talking about dreadlock history and, like, where it came from, and
yeah,
back in high school when I graduated, I had waxed dreads, you guys, like, I had them,
yeah,
so I can tell you how bad it is.
yeah.
Oh, well
And could you imagine the hairdressing industry continuing today with that concept? Like
right,
firming lotions,
right.
and so
Mean
it was a blessing to
One
take it
of
out.
one of my clients I take care of, she's older and she's from the UK, and back then, the only dreads you saw in the UK were more part of the punk movement, like movement, and so you were either shaved head or you had dreads, and they actually a lot of times would encase their dreadlocks in latex or candle wax and let it form underneath, and then they would take the coating off
Take it
of the
off.
top. And I was like, "That
Yeah.
is some crazy dread history right there. That is wild." Can you imagine?
It's no, I yes, I could imagine it, but I don't know why you would do it.
But that's what people used to do. So, I don't know,
We
and
have
it
to
it
evolve.
it worked, but we have to do better
It
now.
will. but
Oh
we
my
have to do
gosh.
better. Yeah.
We can do better now. Who is around you in terms of other locticians, and, like, how far away are they?
We are very much state to state. We're miles away from each other.
So, there's some people around you, but everybody else is really spread out because Australia is so big. So, if someone lives in how far are we talking distance-wise? Are we talking, like, hours between people?
We're talking, so let's just say Angel's now in Perth. Perth is, I wouldn't drive to Perth. You'd have to get on a plane,
Oh
you
my
know? So
wow.
we're not talking about, yeah, it's, yeah,
Interesting.
Sydney, Melbourne. We're talking hours on the plane. But I have connected with a lot of people in other states. I love work from encouraging to buy stuff from other dread
Yeah.
artists. So I bring in their stuff a lot like what you do.
Mhm. I wanted to give you a chance to talk about how you feel about the aspect of community in terms of the dread world. And I do want to get into the good and the bad of that, both sides of the coin, but you definitely have that heart for community and wanting it to be a community and a large scale community and that openness. So, what does that feel
Yeah.
like to you? What does that look like to you? What vision would you broadcast for community in terms of dreads in Australia?
My biggest look, I'm going to go back to when I first started. I thought that this was going to be the most beautiful experience working with other dread artists, which was quickly slapped in my face that it wasn't.
Yeah.
And it was, I have made it a mission to continue shouting people out and
Mm,
shouting their work out and purchasing from them to combat the
right.
bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's almost like a stick it up, yeah. You're not going to get the blessings from me anymore. I want, look, we're not going to get along with everyone and we're not going to, we shouldn't have to.
Right.
However, being a nice person isn't that hard. I don't see it being hard.
Yeah.
If you see the person as a person, they're doing it just as hard as you. So why not
Mm,
support them?
yeah.
Why do we have to make it
Especially
hard
in
on each
a
other?
like you said, going back to what you said earlier, especially being in a country that is so big, where the industry is still young, there's plenty to go around. If you are
We say
traveling that
every day,
far to see
every
people
day.
and be of service to people, I could see in, like, highly concentrated areas where that would get a little bit sticky, so the one thing I zeroed in on is you said it was this shock, that you had projected this idea that would be so great, we know where you come from and where you're working at, and you have this vision of a larger industry, and you want this openness. Talk to me more about that shock that you experienced when you were like, "Oh, this will be great. I can connect with so many people." What was that like? As much detail as you're willing to go into.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
trying to burn the
absolutely.
world
Well,
down here, but
so my heart is always open and I get excited about working with other locticians, learning, experiencing all at the same time. And before I was doing any locking, like I said, I was shouting out all this work
right.
because I wanted to.
Especially selling your product and trying to get it into the right hands, yeah.
And I think what it was too was I didn't really want to step on anyone's toes here in Adelaide because there was established locticians. We obviously then started the Dread registry where you could, the directory, sorry, where we could expose as many people as we could. And in Adelaide, unfortunately, there was jealousy. I did want to, like I
Wow.
said, I was doing mentoring and putting people on and exposing new dread artists to this world and trying to work together with other dread artists. One of those dread artists were someone that came on to our mentoring program. So that wasn't received very nice
Mm.
to the point where I was questioned. Why am I bringing more people on? Why? They
Why are
were,
you doing what you're doing? Why? Yeah.
why? And attacking certain things, it got personal. And there was a lot of phone calls, calling back and forth, asking, why are you charging this person this much? Why? To the point where it was like,
Someone called you on the phone to you this?
oh, yeah, telling me
Wow.
that I should only stick to my products. Why are you advertising dreadlock work?
Are you serious? Oh,
multiple times.
you're making me a lot
And that
better about my drama, Sonia.
oh, man. Do you know how hard it was to keep my mouth
Ugh.
shut?
Man, there's just so much in this topic. What you're touching on is saying, okay, so just for our listeners to recap. So you enter the dread industry, you start product first, you start locking hair, you're mentoring, you're
Yeah,
teaching, you have this let's make a network, let's say where everyone is, let's all partner up and everything. And that went very well in some circles, and some people it did
yeah,
not go so well, which is
yeah,
typical. I understand. But it went to a degree for you negatively that it was to the point that someone was literally calling your phone and saying, "Be doing this," personal attacks. That's
yeah,
crazy. That's insane.
yeah.
Wow.
But I always also to anyone that's starting this industry, they are gonna be really important lessons, and we throw out the boundary thing. It's gonna realign your boundaries and really
Right,
focus on what are you doing in this industry.
right.
That is always a big thing that plays in my head. As soon as I see a new person, I just wanna love,
It's your
but
natural.
it's my natural, and then it's,
So
"Be
that was
careful."
my follow-up question. You had this negative experience. It sounds like the worst thing I can imagine, and I'm sure we could compare notes for hours about positive and negative
Yeah,
experiences, and I'm sure you have 100 positive stories for any negative experience as well. But
yeah,
going through that, what I'm trying to pull out and talk to you about is how did that change you as a person? I'm asking is selfish because it's happened to me too, and really, if I wrote a book, which I may someday or something, I would say going through this industry molecularly changed me as a human being and changed everything about my personality and how I view the world and how I approach people and how I interface with people, and not necessarily all in a good way. So, how did that
yeah.
negative experience change you?
I think I've learnt I wanna say that I've always been very good with intuition, like knowing those signs. Am I in danger? Fight or flight. I think that has made it a bit more predominant for
Mhm.
me because the empath that I am, it's always going in head first with love. And now it's
Same.
pulling back, give a little
Yeah.
bit of love, see what the response is. I experience things on a very emotional level every single day. And I know that we are all experiencing one or two things very similar within our journey.
Mm,
I think it's just it's so hard to say this, but I've actually had to start thinking of me first. Do you
yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely. Absolutely, and this is what I would say to listeners, and this whole lock talk thing is a little bit niche and obscure. The only people that are really going to listen to these conversations and get what we're talking about are lock artists, and I'm totally okay with that because it's not necessarily a conversation for the larger public because they're not behind the scenes and they don't understand these types of things that we're talking about. And I know we're speaking in general because we're trying to be nice and professional, yet address
Yeah,
what we've been through. And
yeah,
what I think people need to hear is that in your experience and in my experience, you have someone that's totally open, that approaches the world head first, love first, with that empath energy, that then has there are ugly sides of this industry that change people like you and me. And I think that's what people need to know and the
yeah,
takeaway needs to be of like, good job, guys. Like that ugliness and that ugly behavior, you have altered another human being. And I think that's really intense
yeah,
and we really need to look at that. Again, we're only scratching the surface of this concept, but you feel like for you, it's left you a little bit more cautious, a little bit more looking
absolutely.
for that reciprocal, and then being like, I guess I need to redirect that energy to myself because it's
Yeah,
not always well received. And I found that as well. So I
exactly.
get it.
And that has been the biggest lesson and
Mhm.
teaching these new guys coming on to to be a bit more resilient,
Right.
and you're always going to teach them all the troubles that you've gone through. So the biggest thing has also been just I don't have to be friends with everyone, and that
I
hurts.
know. It's the worst thing ever. It's awful because I was like you. I came in, I don't know what I thought. I thought it would be like
I think
one
it's going to
big
be
happy
hippies, man.
family.
All hippies.
I think talking about it really matters. How quickly into you getting into the dread world did the negative occur for you? Was it right off the bat or did it take a while?
right away.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't
That's
so much the
awful.
product. The product was received really, really well. And like I said, it was the locking
When you
services,
chose to start. Okay.
yeah, which just only for some, because
That's
there are
awesome.
good people, and that's the only ones that you should really be hanging out with.
Right.
You can't change people's persona. You can't change people's way of how they interact with people. I don't know about you, but I feel it within my body, and every time I highlight or think about that shitty situation, my guts feel like they're just turning,
I
okay?
know.
For all the love and all the love that we poured in to everyone,
Mhm.
you know.
And you very much lead with that positivity and that community aspect. You're very much, "Hey, I wanna share, I wanna commune with each other, here's what I have, what do you have?" And you're ready to get in there and talk about it. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It probably has to do with maybe fear or jealousy, which is
Sad.
unfortunate. Yeah, it is sad. It is sad. So, yeah, how would we unpack such a huge thing for anyone listening? I think that's our best attempt at unlocking something that is it just runs so deep. I don't open up to a lot of people about all of the horrible things that have happened to me in this industry. I have had countless situations like you're describing. And so you can imagine
Yeah.
how that leaves one's internal world and their
Bashed.
mind at the end of it. And so that's why I was just asking, like, how has that changed you? I'm sure other industries that operate on social media or operate within a niche community know what we're talking about. So yeah, bring us back up to the surface, that
Yeah.
now that we're touching on this heavy thing, what are the positive ways that seeing that negative side of the community, how has that affected you positively? What have you learned?
So,
I know you said you don't have
I
to like
guess obviously
everyone, which is
you
a
don't
hard
have to
pill to
like everyone.
swallow.
I think it's like we're forced in a would I in an everyday world hang out with those type of people or give them my
Yes.
time?
That's always what I say. Yes. That is such a good
No.
compass question. If you're a loctician and you're listening to this, please ask yourself that question. If you're dealing with drama or anything like that, ask yourself if you took this out of the context of the industry in the real world, if you met them on the street or in a coffee shop, would you actually remain friends with that person? It creates so much clarity.
That's the thing. I was feeling it. I was like, "What did I do wrong?
Right.
What did I do wrong?" And my husband brought it to my attention.
Like you
They're
wouldn't
not the
even be
type of
friends with
people
these
you
people.
hang out with. Why would you hang out with them now?
Yeah. I just want our listeners to know that right now, she and I are trying to describe a very big topic that a lot of people have been through while trying to be professional, while trying to
Absolutely.
be real. And it's a very hard thing to manage. But I think those that have been through it are going to pick up on what we're saying. And
Yeah,
there are so many other people out there that are like, me too.
absolutely.
Yes. At the end of the day, another reminder, zooming out from what we're touching on, is that, and this is a touchy thing to say because some people might not agree with me, I am not here for those people. They do not pay
No,
my bills. You are not in my chair. I am here for my clients. I love seeing inspiration from other creators. I love being challenged by other
yes,
creators and what they're doing. I love community and networking. I have a product line. You have a product line. Obviously, we want people to
yeah,
carry that if they enjoy it and appreciate it. But
yes.
besides that, I'm not here for those people.
No way.
And I have to
Never,
remember that all the time.
all the
I
time.
don't work for you or with you, or we're not married to each other.
Energy that you're putting in, the energy you're putting into these people that have no value to you, you could be putting in,
To
and
clients
that's
in your
what was
business.
evident to
Yes,
me from this big uproar. I was shown the people that were really
absolutely.
behind me, and I've
Absolutely.
just loved on them.
That's so wonderful. I'm so glad you came out of that bad experience with more clarity about who's there for you. And it sounds, at least for me, I've come out of experiences like that with so much more wisdom and discernment. Like I mentioned the other day, I had that real clip from my podcast of saying someone was telling me I needed to get a thicker skin. And it was attached to as a business mentor of mine. And she was like, "You're to get shredded."
Yeah,
And I was
exactly.
like, "No, I'm not." And she was right. I got absolutely mentally and emotionally ravaged, so here I am.
And yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that the other lesson was to really stay in my lane.
Mm.
Just keep staying in your lane.
But at the end of the day, if you have wonderful work that you're putting out there and you believe in what you're doing and you are doing a good job and being excellent, then that's it.
That's it.
That's
That's all you can
all it
ask.
boils down to. Yeah. And if your clients are
Yeah,
happy and people are saying good things about your business and what you offer, then you've done it.
then you're doing it.
So I like that we were able to zoom in there for a little bit, but zooming out, what is your take as someone in Australia? All these
Mm,
things in mind, the positive, the negative, community, how complicated community can get. What is your
yeah.
view of the Australian dread world in general, in a larger sense?
I think we are still very much behind
Mm,
where we consumers in two minds. Either you're free forming it and not doing anything at all, or you're actively getting your routine maintenance
mm,
every 3 months, every 2 months, whatever, and you are washing and keeping these dreads really manicured and clean.
interesting.
There is those two components of client. We do all have a very different style.
Do you think that's
Yeah,
just because a lot of artists that get started in Australia are, like, mostly self-taught to some degree, and they're
yeah,
kind of all in their own little bubbles, and there's not a lot of, like, standardization and sharing, that there's such different styles and approaches?
exactly.
Mm.
It's not uniformed. We do have our own program, so our mentoring program, where I do believe that you have to have
Yeah.
some sort of certification. It just sets you
Something.
apart. It sets you yeah, you're going through hair techniques, all what's it's a base that you have to start with, I think. And then from there, it's all hands-on learning. How are you with your client from start to finish? From when you get that inquiry, how do you service that client to the end? That's what we're teaching.
Right.
So it's an investment in
Why
you
not?
and your business.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah, so tell us, I
Yeah.
mean, how does your mentorship program work? How does your what could students expect if they came to you for that? Tell us about your teaching program.
Yeah. Basically, they do their 10 to 13-week course online with Dread School,
Yeah.
which and you're learning every module with a client.
Wow. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and then we set them all up with ABNs, which is the Australian business numbers, insurance, getting their website,
That's
even tax
amazing.
purposes,
Wow. That's
every
incredible.
single thing. So in 6 months, you should really even like marketing and stuff like that, you should have a good 5 clients,
To get the
I
ball
believe,
rolling.
to get the ball rolling. Yeah.
And so the idea, and I know it's an idea here as well, is that as you educate more dreadlock artists and you push more of this out and we make this more popular, more people will become interested, more people wearing dreads. Dreads will become normalized, at least these styles, and
Yes.
that the system will continue to grow itself. And you guys are creating that industry standard. So I'm just glad that you're putting yourself out there as someone that is creating that standard. What do you think of what the heck we're doing over here?
At the beginning, I thought, "Far out, everyone's working together. Why are we not doing this?" And then I quickly realized that it's no different.
No different. It's the
It's
same.
no different.
It's the same garbage. Yes.
Women being nasty to other women
Yes. Now,
needed.
again, I don't want to leave out the positive. There are so many good relationships and
And
collaborations and
then
networks
there's so
here.
many good absolutely, absolutely. All these beautiful free curl locks on the bottom. What are they called? I don't
So
know.
many different names for them.
There's
Yeah.
so many words. This is just
Fancy
coming now.
schmancy. Yeah. That's so interesting.
Fancy schmancy, yeah.
Yeah. Huh. It's going to be
So
fascinating to see that develop because I can put myself in the shoes of a client. And
yeah.
I remember back when we didn't have any of the stuff that we're doing in the US here now. We were more like Australia was spread out. I literally knew about 10 other locticians in the whole US that were even
Yeah,
advertising or talking about what they were doing. It looked very similar to what the landscape of Australia dreadlock industry looks like now, back then. So it's so
yeah,
interesting to see you guys coming through this evolution too. When it comes to putting myself in the shoes of a client, I really think 'cause they're consuming that on social media, right? I really think they get into the dread world, they start following other accounts that follow other accounts, and then they're like, "Oh, that's cool." I really think that's how it spreads. We could sit behind
Absolutely.
the chair all day long and be like, "You could get this and you could get that," but until they see it, like, in their feed, and they're associating with people that have that and seeing them, like, live their life, maybe with ends like this or something like that,
Yeah,
they're not gonna start asking for those things. So I think it's that
exactly.
slow evolution, and I think it's client driven.
Exposure.
Yeah. So I think it'll
Well,
it'll take off. It is, and it's gonna be
all
really
going to happen.
exciting. It's gonna be really exciting.